Andile Lungisa only served 2 months of his sentence and was released on parole when a special remission of sentence was applied to relieve overcrowding in prisons. But it is an ordeal that will stay with him. He says there was never any shame, humiliation or fear.
I'm a revolutionary. I take every pain. I'm not a crybaby. I can't cry. I was part of the liberation struggle when I was only 9. When I was born by my parents, my father, they were already in the struggle. They were fighting even their own parents. My grandfather, my great-grandfather died in 1945 in the Second World War II. We are saying we are coming from a family of warriors, a family which we fought in each and every epoch in this country. We never took a back seat. I come from that home. You can put me in prison, you can put me underground, you can put me in Robben Island, you can put me in the middle of the sea. To me, it's just an experience which makes me to come strong. I came strong in prison. I was stronger when I was inside. I'm stronger even now.
But prison was not a waste for Lungisa, who says there are valuable lessons to be learned inside.
Treatment is all there. It's the same because you don't get your own special food in prison. You eat the same food which comes during lunch, which comes during supper, because you only get 2 meals. The treatment is the same. It's the same. There's really nothing different. We are in prison. All of you are treated the same. But it depends on the individual how we are going to carry yourself in terms of the behavior. That's the difference. That's the only difference.
Lungisa says a former President Zuma is also being targeted like he was, but he must not relent. Rayno Kayser, SABC News, Gqeberha.